Okay, welcome everybody to the Weiner Wellness Center. We're here with Dr. Joseph Honigman from the Weiner Wellness Center. And Dr. Honigman, I'm just going to let you take it from here because I'm really excited to learn about stress and how to use it to my advantage.
Thank you, Tracy. So everyone, welcome to my talk, which is Don't Stress Out, How to Manage Stress and Have It Work in Your Favor. And I'm going to give you just a brief bibliography of who I am. As soon as I can get this thing to work, there we go. I am Dr. Joseph Honigman. I'm a lifestyle and wellness-oriented chiropractic doctor who also holds a Master of Public Health degree with a major in epidemiology. I have approximately 40 years experience in the natural healthcare field, 27 years experience as a doctor of chiropractic, and I utilize a client-centered approach focusing on optimizing the health of your whole body. I've specialized training in functional wellness, integrative and nutritional medicine, stress management such as relaxation and meditation techniques, which comes in handy for this particular presentation, and chiropractic spinalization rehabilitation techniques. Along with that, I do trigger point therapy and McKenzie technique, which are exercises for cervical and low back disc injury and dysfunction. But most important of all, my goal, healthy transformation of body, mind, and spirit. So let's get back to the topic. Now, I know that most of you, if not all of you, are aware that chronic stress is a very serious problem. In fact, it is a major cause or contributes greatly to most chronic diseases, such as high blood pressure, cardiovascular disease, stroke, obesity, type 2 diabetes, many gastrointestinal disorders, and even autoimmune disorders, such as lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can better manage stress. We can prevent acute stress from becoming chronic stress, and we can even have it work in our favor. And we're going to go over that shortly. But for now, we're going to start with a definition of stress, and we're also going to differentiate between acute stress and chronic stress. So, stress is a feeling of mental, emotional, or physical tension. Can you feel that? That mental, the emotional, the physical tension. And it can come from any event or thought that makes you feel frustrated, angry, nervous, or scared. The source can be external, such as you're having a financial crisis, just not enough money. In fact, that's the #1 cause of stress in the United States. Or maybe you're being chased by a rabid dog. It could also be internal, such as being diagnosed with a serious illness, or it could be mental or emotional, such as just not feeling good enough or prepared enough for the task at hand. So it is important to understand that there are 2 different types of stress. One is chronic, and that is long-term, and it is destructive in nature. The other is acute, and it is temporary. Acute stress can help us learn more about ourselves and our environment. It can keep us from procrastinating, enabling us to get things done in a timely manner, and it can bring out our creative nature, helping us to grow and be better. So we don't want to eliminate stress. In fact, stress can even be a life-saving message. It enables us to react quickly to a life-threatening situation. This is commonly known as the fight or flight response. It's what enables you to jump quickly out of the way of an oncoming car, or run away from some angry, crazy person coming after you, meaning to do you harm. The changes that occur in your mind and physiology happen so quickly, you aren't even aware of it. That's why you're able to jump out of the path of an oncoming car before you even have to think about it. Imagine if you had to intellectually process that information. Oh, look, a car is coming. I think I may have to get out of the splat. Too late. So, how does the stress response get things done so quickly? Well, first of all, it's important to understand that the stress response begins in your brain. That's a theme I will come back to. And whenever you interpret an event that makes you feel frustrated, angry, nervous, or scared, your senses send information to the amygdala. Now, the amygdala sounds like a fancy name, but actually it just means an almond-shaped piece of nervous tissue, an area of the brain. So it's almond-shaped amygdala. And that interprets the emotions, and it then sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus. This is a part of our brain that acts like a command center. And the hypothalamus is very important, and it's going to activate both the sympathetic nervous system, which acts as the on switch. Now, the sympathetic nervous system is part of your autonomic nervous system, which means you don't even have to think about it. In fact, what would happen if you had to think about your heart beating or your lungs breathing all day long? Heartbeat, heartbeat, lungs breathe. Oh, no, I skipped the lungs breathing part. That is being taken care of by our autonomic nervous system. And the sympathetic nervous system is the part of the autonomic nervous system which acts as the on switch. It functions like a gas pedal in a car. It triggers the fight or flight response, providing you with a burst of energy. The hypothalamus also activates the pituitary gland, which you may know as the master gland because it will also activate other glands as well. But in this situation, in the fight or flight situation, the hypothalamus is activating the pituitary gland, which then activates our adrenal glands, which results in an increase in epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, and cortisol, which then increases your heart rate. It's going to push blood to your muscles, your heart, and other vital organs, increasing your blood pressure, enabling plenty of fresh oxygen to get to your brain, and extra fuel in the form of glucose to be sent to your large muscles so that you can fight or run. This is a beautiful thing in a fight or flight situation. By the way, for those of you who have a little bit of scientific curiosity, that's known as the HPA axis. The hypothalamus activating the pituitary, which activates the adrenal glands. In a nutshell, what I would like you to come away with, in a stressful situation, the fight or flight response will trigger a cascade of events that makes your brain more alert, causes your muscles to tense, increases your pulse and heart rate. And for dangerous situations, this can be life-saving. After the threat has passed, another part of the autonomic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, acts like a brake. It promotes the rest response that calms the body down. It's over. Parasympathetic nervous system is now in charge. Unfortunately, the mind and body can react to emotional stressors that are not physically dangerous or life-threatening. And this can result in the ongoing chronic stress that can negatively impact almost every aspect of our health. Now, examples of stressors that can result in chronic stress include death of a loved one, divorce or a breakup, being subjected to abuse, whether it's physical or emotional, financial distress, and once more, that's the most common cause of chronic stress here in the United States, and I'm sure in other countries as well, it takes its toll. Family difficulties, taking care of someone else, such as a sick family member or an aging family member, and that's becoming more common. Feeling pressured or unhappy at school or at work. All of these sources of stress can result in going down the rabbit hole of never-ending stress. And the further you go down, the more difficult it is to get back out. So, with us living such busy lives and being active all the time, how do you even know you're traveling down that not so pleasant road of chronic stress? Well, are you experiencing an increase in anxiety, brain fog, memory lapses, or feeling distracted, not being able to focus as clearly as you would like or as clearly as you did before? Are you experiencing an increase in mood swings, including irritability and being quicker to anger than before? Does it take you longer to get to sleep, even though you are tired? In other words, are you tired but wired? Do you have difficulty staying asleep, possibly even waking up with anxiety? That's never pleasant. And with chronic stress, you may wake up exhausted, even though you slept for 7, 8, even 9 hours. That's kind of like in the end stages when you're experiencing adrenal fatigue. And where did that extra weight around your belt line come from? Well, that's stress. You could also have an increase in high blood pressure. Remember, that was a great thing for acute stress when you're trying to run away from a wild animal. But chronic, that's the leading cause of cardiovascular disease. Or maybe you have symptoms of low thyroid, such as inability to lose weight and an increase in fatigue, even though you get tested and your thyroid numbers are normal. And that's because either a decrease in cortisol or an increase in cortisol can result in the inability of your thyroid hormone, the most active thyroid hormone, T3, but actually entering the cell. You actually become thyroid resistant to T3. Also, are you getting sick more often than before? Does it take you longer to recover if you get sick? All of those problems can come from chronic stress. How is that for a dis-ease? Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about how it affects your immune system. In the beginning stages of prolonged or chronic stress, that increase in cortisol decreases a part of your immune response that's very important for fighting viruses and infections from bacteria. So you get sick more frequently. So that's the connection between being stressed out and getting sick, or if you get sick, taking a longer period of time to recover. Possibly you've experienced it yourself during finals week if you went to school, or having to meet deadlines that just didn't seem possible, or financial problems rears its ugly head again. On the other hand, with long-term chronic stress, your cortisol levels drop, they become exhausted. And even if they don't, even if your cortisol levels seem to be okay, but you've had these increase for a long period of time, your immune system can become resistant to the anti-inflammatory effects of cortisol. Either way, this can result in increased inflammation with stiffness and achiness in your muscles, along with general exhaustion. And research indicates if you have low functioning adrenal glands, you have an increased risk of developing an autoimmune disease, especially autoimmune thyroid disease, such as Graves' disease or Hashimoto's thyroiditis, but also rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. My own personal experience with my patients and clients has led me to believe that most autoimmune diseases and disorders is associated with ongoing chronic stress or having experienced a major prolonged bout of stress in the past. Bottom line, either too much or too little cortisol will result in immune system dysfunction. And that brings us to the later stages of stress. Now you've reached adrenal fatigue, the exhaustion phase. The main cause of adrenal fatigue is, guess what? Continual low-level stress. Now, do you have difficulty staying asleep, and are you tired when you wake up? Again, if you get 7, 8, 9 hours sleep, doesn't matter, you're still tired. This exhaustion phase is associated with a lack of energy or loss of stamina, which can progress to profound chronic fatigue. You're burned out, often with increased tension, irritability, brain fog, and impaired concentration. And with that decrease in cortisol, you're still at risk for gaining more fat and weight around the belt line. No either way, too much, too little. Are you noticing more weight, more fat around your belt line? Problems with your adrenal glands. Stress will also result in our DHEA levels dropping. DHEA is the most abundant hormone that our adrenal glands produce. In fact, DHEA is the most abundant hormone circulating in our body. And because it's a precursor to our sex hormones and to cortisol, so a precursor to estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, as well as cortisol, it's important for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, immunity, regulating sugar levels, and supporting our sex drive. So low levels of DHEA can result in decreased immune function, midsection weight gain again, muscle weakness, pain, joint pain, inflammation, a lower sex drive. It's also important because if you measure DHEA, it may be the first indication that something has gone wrong with your adrenal glands. And that's one way you can objectively measure how well you're handling stress. So I can actually order a very comprehensive adrenal profile test. It's a saliva test. It takes six different samples of your saliva throughout the day. And it will measure your cortisol levels morning, early afternoon, and evening. It will measure your DHEA levels, and it will give us cortisol DHEA ratio. You can see from this particular example for this person, in the morning, green indicates it's okay. Yellow is, well, it's a warning, and red's, you're in the danger zone. You can see that in the morning, that's the 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., always as you look at it on the left part of the screen, that they're doing pretty good. At 11 to 1 p.m., still not so bad, doing pretty good. 3 to 5, okay. But then when they're ready to go to sleep, the cortisol levels have raised. What's that telling us? Tired, but wired. This person's probably tired, but wired. The mind's still racing. And that's not good because they can wake up fatigued. So now let's get to the theme really of this talk. How can we turn stress into something good and have it work to our advantage? See, stress in and of itself is neither good or bad for our health. It's how we interpret and respond to it that makes the difference. The brain plays a very important role in how we respond to stress. How you view stress can determine how it affects you. So let's change the view. What if we look at stress as our ally, telling us that something's not right and needs to be dealt with, that there's something that needs our attention? then we can use it as a motivator to get things done in a timely manner and improve our lives. We can also use stress to learn something new about ourselves, perhaps cultivate mindfulness. And in fact, I recommend doing that so that we can respond to our challenges in a more peaceful and relaxed state of mind. Often when I'm counseling people about stress, I'll say something like, look, if going about trying to solve your problem stressed out would help, I'd say go for it. Stress is great. It's a wonderful thing. But it doesn't. I've never met anyone who was able to solve a problem better being stressed out than approaching it in a relaxed, focused state of mind. Again, stress is wonderful. It's a motivator. It gets you started. It keeps you from procrastinating. It points out something is wrong. But now let's approach it in a manner in which we will have more clarity and more mindfulness. But what if you're unable to change or take advantage of the stressor you're facing? Simply accept that it's there. Don't ignore it. Don't ever ignore it, but rather cultivate peace and presence. As a result, you will be healthier and more productive and better able to change that which you can. Remember the serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity and strength to accept those things that I can change, the courage that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and most important of all, probably, the wisdom to know the difference. So let's cultivate mindfulness to help us be better able to manifest that wisdom, to be able to accept that which we cannot change, and the courage to change that which we can. Mindfulness may be defined as a moment-to-moment awareness of one's experience. Now, here's the kicker: without judgment. Calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. This can help us to not be overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. And we can promote mindfulness by diaphragmatic breathing. And I'm going to give a demonstration of that. By breathing deeply into our belly at a slower rate, we can send signals to the brain that the threat is over. And the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxed and digest part of our autonomic nervous system, starts to reverse the changes brought about by the fight or flight response. That's a wonderful thing. By just by relaxing the shoulders and breathing in through your belly, that actually sends a message to your brain that the threat is over. However, this is a skill, and it takes time and effort to get good at it. It's not the type of thing that you say, oh, in the middle of some type of an emergency or very stressful situation, I'll just take a few deep breaths and everything will be fine. It's not going to happen. Okay? It takes time to actually develop this as a skill. And then it's extremely useful. There are several different techniques and methods to go about diaphragmatic breathing. And I don't have the time to really even go over more than one. So what I'm going to recommend is that you Google or use your search engine of your choice and keyboard in Dr. Andrew Weil, W-E-I-L, Relaxing Breath Video. Dr. Andrew Weil's Relaxing Breath Video. And he'll take you through it step by step. I mean, this guy's been doing it for a long time. In fact, I was reading about his practice of diaphragmatic breathing and meditation over seriously about 40 years ago. That's how long he's been around. So what else can you do to better handle stress? Be active and exercise 30 minutes per day, because being active can boost your feel-good endorphins and improve your mood. Try yoga and Tai Chi, which are very helpful in achieving mindfulness and a relaxed, focused state of mind. Now, it's not for everyone, but for those of you who do this, then you understand what I'm saying. These two techniques, yoga and Tai Chi, they've been studied, and there's been wonderful articles printed in peer-reviewed journals talking about their effectiveness in decreasing stress and anxiety. Prayer, meditations, and affirmations are also a way to better handle stress, and something that I incorporate in my daily routine. Practice forest bathing, or Shinrin-yoku, which means forest bathing. And this is actually a countermeasure to the time we devote in front of a screen. It's the antidote, or possibly the cure, for nature deficit syndrome, as more and more people just live their lives in front of a screen. Basically, what this means is spend more time outside in nature, cultivate presence, pay attention to the sights and the smells and the sounds that surround you. This is absolutely one of my favorite things to do, and it always helps to decrease my stress level and to increase my mindfulness. This is me communing with nature at Frick Park, possibly my favorite place in all of Pittsburgh. And I'm having an enjoyable moment with this baby deer. This is me. Well, you can't see me, and you couldn't see me in the other one, but you're going to have to take my word. This is me at Pittsburgh Botanic Gardens. And I just was mesmerized and in wonder of this beautiful lotus flower at the Japanese garden. It's hard to be stressed out when you're in the presence of such beauty. There are other things you can do as well. Try journaling. Add some positive affirmations into your daily routine. One of my favorites is, I'm in a relaxed and focused state of mind. Or, my focus is sharp and disciplined. I am centered and I trust in the power of the divine. You can use mine, you can use others, you can make your own up. I also recommend that you say them aloud. It seems to cement your intention. However, I don't recommend that you do this in a crowd of people. Take a media break. Really. A week without negative news. Try it. It's a wonderful thing. Plus, don't forget to do something as simple as laugh. You can also try some essential oils. Now, I'm going to be talking about essential oils in more detail on my Friday presentation. But I just figured I had to mention these because these are essential oils that improve mood and decrease stress and anxiety. So I've included bergamot, chamomile, lavender, sweet orange, lemongrass, patchouli, and ylang-ylang. I left out frankincense. Frankincense is also something that can be used. Frankincense has multi-purposes, but that's one of the things it can be used for. And finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a type of psychotherapy in which negative patterns of thought about the self and the world are challenged in order to alter unwanted behaviors or treat mood disorders. So in other words, it's going to help decrease your negative self-talk. CBT helps one to reevaluate their thoughts and change them in regard to a stressor or stressors. Now, you're going to need to work with a trained cognitive therapist who will provide a new perspective on your situation, enabling you to adopt effective strategies that will help you deal with stressful thoughts, events, and emotions with more confidence, control, and ease. So that's what cognitive behavioral therapy is all about. So I just went over a bunch of techniques and methods. How can you get together a working plan to incorporate some of them, maybe several of them, to manage stress and have it work in your favor? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what I do on a good day. For me, achieving mindfulness and a relaxed, focused state of mind, it's a journey. It's not a destination. And sometimes I'm not really doing a good job following that path. But most of the time, I am. And I'm getting better every year. And that's a good thing. So I might wake up in the morning. Before I even get out of bed, I'll do some diaphragmatic breathing, affirmations, and even a prayer to get the day started. Or I'll get up and I'll actually sit with my back straight and I'll do some diaphragmatic breathing, some affirmations, and probably end with a prayer. So this is what diaphragmatic breathing is all about. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I'm going to give it my best. What you do is you're going to relax the shoulders. You're going to breathe through your belly like you're blowing up a balloon. And the chest stays still. There are all different types of counts, and I actually recommend that you do a count because it will keep you focused. If you don't, your mind may wander, and you may be going, why am I doing this? I got to get to work. My kids are driving me crazy. This doesn't work anyway. So you need a way to focus. Probably the simplest way is to keep a count. And once you're keeping that count and doing diaphragmatic breathing, the breathing itself will help keep you focused. So it goes like this. And I'm going to do just 2 breaths as a demonstration. And it's going to be a 4-2-4 breath. So I'm going to breathe in for 4, hold for 2, and breathe out for 4. I'm putting my hand here so you can see the movement. Can you see my chest? It's not moving. It's hard to see that. I don't know if I can get a better view. Let me try that. Okay. And then now I'm doing that in a seated position. And I'm usually like this. And at the end of that breath, I'll finish with an affirmation such as, I'm in a relaxed and focused state of mind. I'm well able for the task at hand. I am open and receptive to new ideas. I will go through this day mindful and at peace. And with God's grace, it is so. Okay. Now I'm ready to do what I need to do next. If I'm eating in a relaxed, focused state of mind, and that's a really good thing. If I'm about to go to work, that's a good thing. My next patient or client will appreciate it. If I'm talking to a friend, it's also helpful, especially family, right? If you could be in a relaxed, focused state of mind, talking to your family, you know you've achieved something good. So, if I have time, I will exercise. I believe exercise is very important for a multitude of reasons. And I want to get those feel-good endorphins going. So for me, that usually maybe light weights, taking a jog or a walk in the park. At the same time, if I have enough time on my schedule, I will practice some Shinrin Yoku, some forest bathing. So now I'm getting in my exercise. I got those endorphins going. Now I'm going to slow down and just appreciate the beauty and the wonder that's around me. Throughout the day, I can continue with the diaphragmatic breathing because that's something you can take with you everywhere. The affirmations and prayer as well. You can also use some essential oils that I mentioned before, and it's not that difficult to do. For example, you can use some organic cotton rounds. Take a piece of cotton out, and you can put a little blend together. This one has some lavender and sweet orange and some frankincense, and just do 1, maybe 2 drops, and take a few breaths. Break up the day. And then maybe do a few deep breaths on an affirmation. It only takes you a minute or 2 to do that. Now, I also want to mention that Shinrin Yoku, you don't have to go to a park. You don't have to go to the forest. You can do this in your own garden, but put away your phone, put away the media, the computer screen, and just enjoy the beauty around you. All of these are helpful. I didn't mention yoga and Tai Chi. When I do my exercises, I'm doing it usually with breathing, breath control. So in a way, it is yoga, although it's not formally a yoga technique. But for those of you who prefer doing yoga and Tai Chi, good for you. It's a wonderful way to either start the day, break up the day, or end the day. So there are many, many different techniques that you can use. So let's put it all together. Morning and throughout the day, you can do diaphragmatic breathing, affirmations, and prayer. You can take it with you anywhere, anytime. Exercise whenever you can. Morning, maybe a break during lunch, or when you come home in the evening. But do something you enjoy. That will really increase your endorphins. If you are someone who likes yoga or Tai Chi, fantastic. There are many scientifically proven journal articles that have shown that these 2 types of exercise reduce stress and anxiety. Try journaling. Some of my clients have told me that journaling is very helpful for them. Forest bathing, again, pick your choice, forest, park, garden. Just turn the phone off and increase mindfulness. Try some essential oils. And of course, diet and lifestyle, which is always, diet and lifestyle is always the foundation of good health. Now, if needed or desired, you can try some safe and beneficial supplements that will enhance your ability to relax and stay in a focused state of mind. And I do some, and I find them to be very helpful. I'm not going to be able to go over each supplement in detail. However, if you want to know about each individual ingredient, you can call our office at 412-922-9355, and our staff will provide you with an information sheet listing the ingredients of each supplement that I'm about to talk about and what each ingredient contributes. The first one I'm going to talk about is Calm Day. I'm going to give you a general overview. The ingredients in Calm Day are designed to support neurotransmitters, dopamine, serotonin, and gamma-aminobutyric acid, also known as GABA. Serotonin plays an important role in sleep, mood, and the ability to relax. Dopamine plays a role in memory, learning, and pleasure. It helps you feel motivated, excited, enthusiastic, and feeling good. So if you're sleeping good and you're mood is improved and you're feeling motivated and excited and enthusiastic, you're probably not stressed out. It also increases GABA. This is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. And in this case, inhibitory is very good because it's going to quiet the noise in your brain. All of the things that are telling you don't have enough time, you're not good enough, this is a horrible situation. All of the things that interfere with your ability to be mindful and relaxed and peaceful throughout the day, it shuts off the noise. That's gamma aminobutyric acid and its wonderful abilities. So it slows down the signals, and of course, it plays an important role in anxiety. So Calm Day is used to improve problems with stress, anxiety, and sleep. Now sleep time, and I have used this because sometimes I just get wired throughout the day. Maybe I've had that cup of tea too late in the evening. And sleep time is something that can help you achieve a more restful sleep. It contains everything that Calm Day has in it, but it also contains 5-HTP and melatonin. Now, 5-HTP in and of itself is very special. It's a precursor, a direct precursor to serotonin, and it can effectively cross the blood-brain barrier. Conditions shown to be helped by 5-HTP include insomnia, depression, fibromyalgia, and headaches. However, do not take with selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors such as Lexapro, Prozac, and Zoloft. Sleep time also contains melatonin, a hormone which among its many functions regulates our sleep and wake cycle. Melatonin is a multi-purpose hormone. And the recommendation is to take 2 capsules 1 hour before bedtime. Now, I've had people say to me, I've tried melatonin, it doesn't work. And that's quite possible. But they haven't tried melatonin in addition to 5-HTP and all of the other ingredients that Calm Day has, which then makes it much more effective. I'm also recommending the B vitamins. And I'm going to recommend Super B Complete or Nutritional Frontiers Multivitamin because Nutritional Frontiers Multivitamin also contains a large quantity and of the B vitamins and quality as well. And it's important to understand that when you're in a stressful situation, when you're undergoing stress, the cortisol is going to deplete the B vitamins. The stress is going to deplete your B vitamins, and each of the B vitamins is absolutely essential in varying quantities throughout the adrenal cascade. I'm also recommending magnesium glycinate. Now, magnesium in and of itself is good for stress, but the glycinate has been shown to have calming and cognition-enhancing properties due to the glycine. It can help reduce anxiety, promote a better sleep, and the dosage is 2 to 6 per day. The dosage for the Super B Complete is 1 to 2. If you get the vitamin, it's anywhere between 2 and 6 per day, depending on your health level. If you're undergoing stress, probably at least 2 twice a day. And finally, the last supplement that I'm going to be going over is Adrenamax 3. And this is a wonderful all-around supplement to support your adrenal glands. And it helps with both hyper and hypo function of the adrenal glands. Hence, these are classified as, the herbs in this formula are classified as adaptogens. So they adapt whether or not you have high or low levels of cortisol, or hypo or hyperfunction of the adrenal glands. So some of the ingredients are Asian ginseng and Siberian ginseng, and they're known to reduce fatigue and stress and improve mood, attention, and immune function. Rhodiola. Now, rhodiola is famous in its ability to increase energy and decrease stress at the same time. What a wonderful thing. So it can decrease fatigue and mental fog while improving energy levels. It can increase your immune function and decrease anxiety, increase concentration. Also, it contains ashwagandha, which is soothing and calming, and it's good for anxiety and sleep issues. In fact, you can take ashwagandha separately in addition to the Adrenamax, and take it in the evening when you want to go to sleep. Take it with your sleep time if needed. It also contains licorice root, which assists with recovery of long-term stress. So this is something that can be used with adrenal fatigue, because the cortisol you have, it's going to make the best use of. It's going to help it circulate longer. However, licorice root can increase your blood pressure. And finally, cordyceps, which is a mushroom that can improve energy and immune function. And there's a warning that goes with this. Do not use this product if you're pregnant, nursing, have fibrocystic breast disease, high blood pressure, or if you're taking antidepressive drugs or antihypertensive medications, or have a licorice allergy. You can come back to this slide at your leisure and look at the dosages for each of the supplements. Now, while these are great supplements, I want to make it perfectly clear that these are not the only supplements or vitamins even that are used to help decrease stress and improve the function of your adrenal glands. So depending on a person's unique circumstances and needs, I will individualize the recommendation. This is a good basic plan to start with. But if you're looking for something more personal, make an appointment with me. Now, we live in stressful times. I think everyone will agree with that. And if you don't have a strategy and the skills to effectively deal with stress, you may find yourself tumbling down that never-ending rabbit hole of chronic stress. On the other hand, with proper knowledge and the right skills, you can stop the tumbling or not go down to begin with. You can learn to have stress work in your favor and prevent it from ever becoming chronic. Or if you are already experiencing chronic stress, you can learn how to leave it behind, or at the very least, better manage it. So if you need help on how to effectively deal with stress, I'd be glad to help. You can make an appointment with me. I am Dr. Honigman. And you can call the Weiner Wellness Center at 412-922-9355. My office visits are very reasonable. And we need a disclaimer, and this is it. This information is provided for educational purposes only. It's not been designed to diagnose, treat, or cure any health condition. The United States Food and Drug Administration have not evaluated my statements about this health topic or any suggested supplement recommendations. So again, this information is provided for educational purposes only. And I want to give credit to some of the doctors that I've learned from, and that includes Dr. Andrew Weil. He wrote a book called Spontaneous Happiness. It's very good. And the title is A New Path to Emotional Well-Being. And also Dr. Aviva Ram, author of The Adrenal Thyroid Revolution. So that's it, folks. Wishing you a stress-free day and weekend and a relaxed, peaceful, joyous state of mind.
So good, Dr. Honigman. Thank you so much. Excellent presentation. I learned a lot. Stay tuned, everybody. Judy Mikovits is up next at 10 a.m. And don't forget to call into the Weiner Wellness Center to get all these incredible products that Dr. Honigman has shared with us.
30% off, Tracy. 30% off. I forgot to mention that.
Well, I'm here to remind you. So thank you so much. Everyone, stay tuned and looking forward to the next presentation. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. Have a good day. Great day.